Hello! Welcome to Shooting the Shit, Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul, I'm Oxnard.
I'm Dexter. Welcome to episode 3 for season 1, Better Call Saul. Oh man.
Nacho.
This is my favorite episode so far. The show keeps getting better and better every episode.
You notice the theme with the titles?
What was the...
Uno, Mijo,
Nacho. Oh.
What's the next one going to be? Nino?
Maybe.
Ponyo, the Miyazaki movie? Finito, for the finale?
That'd be hilarious.
Who knows? It could be anything. But, Nacho.
That's what we're concentrating on here.
That's what we're concentrating on right now.
Opens up with the awesomely...
The actors...
Opens up with Michael McKean as the brother,
as
Chuck. In the past.
We finally learn, yeah.
I like that. I like what they did where you see Chuck is dumping all of his devices, like what Saul has to do to go into Chuck's house. Mm-hmm. Chuck is now doing to go see Saul in prison. But you see the old 80s cell phone and everything in there.
Yeah, very nice touch.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. And
I love the young-looking Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, hilarious. And like the way he carries himself and everything. Oh my god, it's so funny. Dude, Bob Odenkirk is like, I can't believe how fucking, I can't believe it because he's awesome, but he's blown me away with the show.
He's always made me laugh. Mr. Show was always amazing. I always loved watching him do stuff, but now seeing him in like a dramatic role and seeing like what he's as an actor.
Yeah.
Like, and I should have seen that beforehand, like, especially with comedy. Like, you do need to be a good comedic actor.
Yeah.
You need the absolute comedy chops and stuff. Yeah, but he's doing an excellent job.
He's fucking fantastic. It's ridiculous how good he is.
So, he's convicted here. When do you think this is like an 80?
This has got to be in the 80s, or like, when was Saved by the Bell on? Late 80s, early 90s?
Very early 90s.
Yeah, because Michael McCain has the...
he makes Saved by the Bell.
Well, he's got the Zach... from Saved by the Bell phone.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was going there.
Oh, okay.
I gauge everything. Well, what year was Saved by the Bell on? Okay, about 20 years before that. That's when Kennedy was shot.
Listen, Preppy. Jimmy Fallon just had like a Saved by the Bell reunion.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that on YouTube, but Screech wasn't there because he's in jail for murder.
Right. Or stabbing a guy in a bar.
Yeah, that guy died, though. So he was arrested for stabbing, and then he was released or whatever, or something like that, and then he was rearrested and charged with murder because he like stabbed a guy to death then on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or something in a bar in Ohio or Wisconsin or wherever he was.
Oddly enough, that doesn't surprise me.
The best part about that story was the guy who was the witness who was talking in the article
was Slater.
No, I saw the whole thing with his preppy mullet.
Or was it Becky the Goose that was covered in oil in that classic Saved by the Bell episode?
What? Remember that.
Remember the school discovered like a huge oil deposit underneath?
Oh, yeah!
And then Zach, for some reason, has like a pet goose named Becky.
Stupid show.
And then the goose got covered in oil. I don't know what happened there. But the goose died.
But then the guy who was talking to the journalist who wrote the article, he was like, yes, a Screech was over here, and he was like, oh, and then he's going on and talking to him as if it was an episode of Saved by the Bell that took place in a bar that resulted in a stabbing. And then he's like, I thought Mr. Belding was going to show up out of nowhere. Hey,
what is going on here?
You see that thing on YouTube?
Yeah.
Where it's just a compilation, like 10 minutes of Mr. Belding. Hey, what is going on?
Because that actor, the last time I saw him, it was an Always Sunny episode where Mac was like upset that he wasn't molested by their gym teacher.
Oh, yeah.
He was the gym teacher.
He's fucking enormous. I know this is mean.
Well, people get big.
That is ridiculously big. Look at him in Saved by the Bell. I weigh more than I weighed, 20 years ago,
get older,
obviously.
Your metabolism slows down and you eat a lot.
That is a lot of eating that guy's doing. He looks like he ate twice as much as what he used to be. Looks like he ate the old building. He went back in time, ate Mr. Belt, made himself, then he ate Zach and Screech and Lisa, and
after Becky the Goose was thoroughly oiled, threw on a frying pan and went to town.
And thought, this is so good, I gotta do it again. He bought Max's or whatever the hell the name was, that restaurant they hung out at, and just sat in a booth and ate.
Yeah, that was the other thing I would say. But so that was a separate establishment. That wasn't like the school cafeteria.
No, I think
right?
that was a separate place that they
was like
they hung out at.
Okay, we
like a soda.
Better Call Saul.
How did this become Saved by the Bell?
No, you know what it is, because I get confused with How Do sometimes. With How Do we just talk, but I gotta remember.
We got to stay on point. So anyway, Saul is in prison. Well, it's Jimmy. Still.
It's a flashback,
and
it's revealed that Chuck is his older brother.
Yeah, which somebody had said in a comment.
Yeah, but then I was rewatching.
That was not clear to me.
It wasn't clear to me either, and I was rewatching the second episode. I was like, "How did this guy know?" Or it must have been something I missed.
I think he took an educated guess, or
no, he said it definitively. It was like Chuck is Sal's older brother.
Well, he's just really confident when he's formulating hypotheses.
Okay,
it's disgusting.
Yeah, oh my god, this. Okay, a little side note: when you're watching Better Call Saul,
the Carl's Jr.
Hardee's commercial with the hot chick eating the mayonnaise-covered grilled fish sandwich,
or the other one's like the huge burger, which is like dripping with goop.
Yeah,
and the sound effect that they use is disgusting.
And also, that woman would never ever be eating that sandwich.
Well, they don't. I want to see the part of the commercial where she chews and swallows that shit.
I want to see the part of the commercial where they show that that's actually like a real thing and not just like a foam sandwich.
Oh, well, there's a law, I believe, where they can't use fake. You can't use fake food. But what they do is it's not like fully cooked, like how they would normally cook it, and then they prepare it meticulously so it looks perfect.
Okay, Better Call Saul.
All right,
man, we're getting out of control here.
Saul drinks cucumber water with vodka. The end. No, anyway.
I saw this. Is this gonna? I would love if this becomes like a drink at a bar. Like you get
cucumber water.
Cucumber water with vodka.
Cucumber water is amazing.
Yeah, but I wonder if this is going to be called like. Can I have a Saul, please?
Give me a Saul Goodman.
Give me a Saul Goodman.
Yeah. Well, I think he. I wonder how many
McGill?
people started drinking Rusty Nails after the first episode, because that's what he makes.
Nail?
It's whiskey and like Drambuie.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Or
drink
bourbon and Drambuie.
Basically, he's making a call here from the nail salon. It's late at night. He's calling the female lawyer.
Oh well, Chuck bails him out.
Yes,
hooks him up. And you see, like it's almost like you see how Saul used to be. He's more like the
flipping
Saul,
jimmies.
Yeah, but then so Saul was like that when he was Jimmy. He was like this no good, always getting into trouble kind of kid. And then he becomes like the guy that we're watching now. And then in Breaking Bad, he's more like the original guy.
Right.
That's what I noticed.
Well, anyway. He becomes this blend of, I think, both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, sorry, go ahead.
So this blonde, what was her name again?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. But the blonde, she always has this, she has a bitch face. I'm just going to say it. Bitch face is just like her natural resting face. Just is kind of like...
She has a little patience for Saul, but has a soft spot for him. And they obviously had some kind of relationship.
Well, they talk dirty to each other over the phone. Something like that. Basically, during the course of this conversation, he's kind of asking about what's the guy who embezzled the $1.6 million?
Keating or something?
Mickey.
I can't remember the names of these people.
All I remember is at the end of the episode, remember the mom says to the kids like a really annoying phrase like, "No, we're gonna." Never mind.
I know what you're talking about.
Basically, Saul...
Oh, like we're the group, or like something group, and...
That's something clan, the Kegel clan,
the
Kegel, the
Kegels. Kegels. Let's call them the Kegels.
Okay, so the Kegels, who are assholes. Saul, during this conversation with the blonde, kind of says something like, "Oh, what if like the wrong people are after them or something?" And she kind of like picks up on this, like, "Why would you say that?"
Yeah.
So that starts this kind of suspicion.
He's like, "No, I'm drunk. It's nothing, And then he can't sleep, So he's like, "I'm not a hero." He goes,
"Yes."
he's like, "All right, I did the right thing. I gave the tip. Like now they'll be protected." But then I guess he's thinking, no, it's not enough, or it's bothering him.
Mm-hmm. So he does this bizarre apparatus.
I was like, what is he making here?
I loved when he goes into the back room. He puts in the big paper towel roll, and he's like. He puts a piece of paper over the end of it, and I was curious. I was like, what is he? Is he making some kind of spirograph, or what's it called? A kaleidoscope?
I can't sleep. I think I'll make a kaleidoscope.
He drives out to
a payphone in the middle of nowhere, yeah.
And he tries calling the Kegels.
Yeah.
who are very confused by his call. They don't understand him.
Bad reception, they think.
And at the last second, he's like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
they're coming to get you. They want the money. And he hangs up.
Yeah, bye!
Bye.
And then they're like, what did he just say? And then they look out the window, the Kegels do, and they see a van, and you see someone, maybe it's Nacho. It was.
That was Nacho, because I remember his profile.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I couldn't tell, but then you realize, oh yeah, it definitely was him. But you see a guy in a van,
And that was
they
also
don't know who it is.
That was also
and
the
they're
van
like, oh,
that
fuck.
they threw him in, right?
That was, which you find that out. Basically, what happens is Saul's like, all right, good, I've done my good deed. He wakes up, he gets a call from his, he's in court, he gets a call from, that was a hilarious scene at court, by the way. He's in the bathroom talking to that other lawyer, trying to haggle him down to get this deal
Such
for
a
his
smug
client.
guy.
Yeah,
And he
Can't do it.
Yeah.
And then he's taking a shit, and then he's basically like, no, I can't do it. The guy drove drunk into a shopping center and killed 3 people. I'm not doing that deal. And he's like, what? No, it's the other person. And then I love how Saul basically rips him a new asshole, and then he's like, we're doing this deal. I was like, okay, fine. And then he gets a call from his friend saying, what the hell? What do you know about this? The Kegels are missing.
Right.
They've been, and he goes to their house.
The Kegels.
I really can't remember their name.
I know. But from here on out,
they're the Kegels.
They're the Kegels. I'm sorry.
Kegels stole millions. So he's like, oh, fuck. So he's got to race out there. He doesn't have any cash on him, really, though, and Mike is at the toll booth and won't let him out. He doesn't have enough validation stickers, and he can't pay. So he's like, it's an emergency, come on. Mike ignores him. He's got his back turned to him. Saul opens up the gate on his own and says, see ya, geezer. So,
Yeah.
oh, screw you, geezer.
That Mike must
And
have
then
been
you're like,
so
oh, fuck.
pissed off.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And then
That deadpan look he had. He's just like the perfect, I don't give a fuck.
it's all bubbling up and boiling inside him.
It's like a silent rage.
Which you see, later in the episode. One of my favorite things about it was there was a lot of Mike in it, and I'm hoping that you see more of Mike's history. You know what I mean? You get to know more about where he came from with Philly and all that kind of stuff.
So
and
at this
why
point,
he's here.
Remember in Breaking Bad, the whole point of his character, he was always trying to leave behind a good amount of money to take care of
the
his
granddaughter? Yeah.
At this point, he's not dealing with that really yet, right?
Doesn't seem like it at all because he's just the parking.
It seems like he had his career as a cop.
He basically is talking about, and where I know we're jumping ahead, but he's talking about. Well, hold on. Let's just put a pin in that for a second and go back because it's all going to lead
tie a
up.
string around it. Let's stretch it over here. Yeah. We'll get back to that later.
Because we're going to jump back because there's something else at work there.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Basically, Saul goes. The house has been ransacked. Then he's calling Nacho furiously from another payphone.
Yes. Well, first it was that whole scene. He goes to the actual house, and then Howard is there. Right, the guy.
The other guy from the law firm that he hates.
The blonde is there. Howard's like, "Look, there's no work for you here. Just be on your way." And then the other blonde.
He wasn't terribly rude though. He was just like, "We don't know what happened. You know what I mean? I can't really talk about it.
But I think in the back of
they're
his
missing.
head,
we don't know."
The back of his head, Howard does think it's kind of weird. Saul just shows up. That's why they're asking why are you here? He's like, "Oh, I was just reading police scanner. There seemed to be activity over here. See what's going on." I think that's going to come back to bite him in the ass at some point. Maybe Howard is going to be like.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Well, that guy's definitely going to try and... It's definitely going to be screwing Saul over somehow.
Yeah. Would you consider him he's possibly going to become the main quote-unquote villain for this season?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, the blonde is there. She's like, look, you better leave because the longer I spend with you, the more I have to answer to Howard.
Yeah.
So then Saul frantically gets to a payphone in this little side street. He's calling Nacho on the number he gave him. He calls him how many? 5 times?
A bunch of times, yeah. And he's just sitting there waiting, and then he can't start his car. He's like, all right. Well, he gets a call, and there's no response on the other end.
Yeah.
And then he hangs up, and he's like, all right, I'm leaving. And then he
Car
can't start his car.
And you see these 2 gentlemen on either side, tough-looking guys coming down the street.
Yeah.
And then he gets out of his car, and he's like, just walking normally. He makes a sharp left. And immediately breaks to a run, and then the 2 guys... Because I was waiting, I was like, are these guys going to be 2 random guys who just walk by? But no, they give chase. I was like, oh shit, Nacho's got to get him. And then a police vehicle pulls up.
Yeah.
and then you realize they're police officers, and what happened is like they had Nacho's number, and they were probably just
so Nacho was
receiving
had
calls
already
from
been
that location.
arrested. He asked for Saul, and what happened was, a neighbor saw Nacho's van like casing the Kegel's house out, and she took down the license plate number. Then they checked it out, and they found blood in the trunk. And these people are missing, and so now they got him, and Nacho's like, I didn't do this. The only other person I told about was you. I was just casing the thing. So, so somebody else ransacked the place. So now he's basically like, you got to get me out of here today, because the longer I'm in here, the longer they're going to dig around into my business, and if they find anything on me, then you're fucking dead, basically.
And I love all the little details, like the blood in the back of the van is his blood, Saul's blood.
And the skater punks and everything. That's that's hilarious. He's like, nobody's been in the van
like, that's
since.
a detail that 4 or 5 episodes from now is going to come up again, I think.
Oh, you think so?
I think so, because they even said in the episodes, like, test the blood in the back of the van.
It'll take weeks.
Yeah, it's going to take weeks.
Yeah.
I think weeks later, they're going to find out, like, what is this guy's relation? It's going to come back.
Maybe. This is ongoing, because at the end of the episode, they're still going to be dealing with... next episode, they're going to be dealing with the Kegels.
Yeah, and the FBI is involved and everything.
Oh, man.
They want Saul to get the guy to confess. Saul doesn't want the guy to confess because he's going to die. And then so...
He convinces him to take him back to the Kegels' house.
Yeah, the blonde is there, and there's a lot of back and forth between that place and...
Yeah. But when they're at the house, Saul's like looking around, and he's like in the kids' rooms, and then he notices like there's all this stuff for this doll, but the doll isn't in the house, and he's like, why is that? So Saul cooks up this theory that the Kegels kidnapped themselves.
Yes.
And that, because they took the money, and now this is like an opportunity. They can't just run, so they're making it look like...
and then the police are saying, like, if they kidnap themselves, how come all their cars are still here? There's no record of a taxi service coming here. And so they have to go back to, I'm losing track of the...
So now,
flow.
let's go to this point then.
So
basically Saul's, like, looking into this on his own now. And he basically comes clean to the woman that he knows about what's going on. He's like, look, I got to get this guy out. I really believe this is what happened. And if I don't get this guy out, then I am in serious trouble. He's like, I'm going to the danger zone, he says.
Yeah.
And then she's like, call the police. And he's like, I will never. Goes like, I'll never be safe. Which is interesting because now the position we know he ends up in the future, where he's like, living in this life of always looking over his shoulder. And as he goes back to the courthouse, he has to confront Mike.
Like, that whole thing with Tuco and being dragged out in the desert. Like, that's exactly what Jesse and Walter White do to him, and it's just interesting. I want to rewatch that scene now in Breaking Bad where they bring him out there, because he lawyers, quote-unquote, himself out of that situation.
Yeah.
In the same way.
He's like, all right, you've done this before.
Yeah,
you can do it again.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. He's just always getting himself... He can't help himself. He's always getting himself into trouble. That's basically what his character does.
Yeah, it's a drug trade, man.
Yeah. So anyway, he goes back. He has to confront Mike now. Mike won't let him in at all. So he's like, you have to park somewhere else. And then he's like, well, I'm going to park right here. And then Mike's like, oh, boy. Gets out, starts adjusting his pants.
Well, I love how like another car comes up behind him. I love how this show... It reminds me a lot of Hitchcock. Hitchcock, all these little tiny details that just ramped up the tension. It's like, it's like he's not going to let him in. And so then a car pulls up behind him, and obviously Mike is like now in a position where it's like, well, there's a car behind him, you might as well let him in. But Mike still doesn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
And now Saul is like trapped.
Yeah, so then Saul makes the next move. It's like a chess game. Like, I'm just going to park here and get out.
Yeah.
And so then Mike gets out of the thing, and then Saul puts his finger on him.
Yeah.
And so Mike, knowing the law, says, okay, his hand is on me. That gives me the right to now do this. And so
he puts like a move on him. He's like down in a second. And now the cops are talking to Mike because they know his history as a former cop. And they're like, oh, go along with this. Basically, you're going to press charges against him. And then what we'll do is we won't charge him, but we're going to get him to help us. And they're convincing him to go along with this so that they can help he'll help the Kegels and the kids, the Kegel kids. And the guy's like, yeah, come on, buddy, help us out, And the one cop puts his hand on Mike's shoulder, and Mike's like gives this look, and he's like gives like this twitching or this like facial.
Well, he knows,
and he's like. And I was like, wow. I was like, there is some kind of like history going on with what happened to Mike. That's
I think Mike, as
guy's touching
a
on.
former cop, knows all the tricks that the police
that's true,
forces
too.
use when they're inquisiting you and they put you in the room and stuff. Like, be our friend, like good cop, bad cop kind of situation. And he's like, no.
he doesn't like being used. I don't think
He
either. I
has
think
no
that's part of
patience
it.
at all for bullshit and people's like head games.
But that's all related to something to what happened to him in Philadelphia, which we don't know.
right.
And so ultimately, it doesn't work. Mike doesn't go along with it in the end. And then him and Saul have a conversation. Mike's like, I believe you that the Kegels kidnapped themselves. And Mike tells him this story.
Yeah, because Mike overhears his explanation, and
Yeah.
right after that, you think that has something to do because of Mike's granddaughter? Like he does, maybe he feels bad for the kids.
So this is what I was going to say. That's possible. That's possible.
Because
But
remember
what
how
I was going to say
in the
was,
last scene in the tent, the kids are really just like, we want to go home. What is
Yeah.
this stupidity? Like these idiots are putting us in the situation we don't want to be
Right.
in. Something like that.
that might be part of it. But what I thought of more was it comes up this way. Mike starts telling Saul about how when he was in Philly, this bookie ran off after the Super Bowl with $6 million. They searched everywhere. They thought he was long gone. Turns out he was 2 doors down, hiding out in a foreclosed home. He stayed there for like 6 months. And then he's like, people don't like
to leave
to leave home.
Yeah.
And then he says that like again. He like reinforces it as he's walking past. But he's not in Philly. He's out in New Mexico,
Right.
and he's a parking attendant there. Mm-hmm. Why is he not home then? And he's saying the way he says it has so much weight to it. So there is a history there. And then when when he says that, I was like, why? I wonder why that definitely, something happened to him when he was a cop. Either like he was involved with dirty cops in some way, or something happened, and he either had to leave because he ran away from something that went bad. Like it was something illegal that he was involved with, either against his will, and he like can't go back to his family now. Like I just like started, all these thoughts started, coming, about this. Maybe that's what. Maybe his granddaughter's still out there. Maybe she's not here yet. All these kind of things could be going on. So I think that's what definitely part of that influenced him. And when that cop touched him, all these kind of things came flooding back.
Yeah, also the fact that like it's his granddaughter, and all throughout Breaking Bad, you never hear anything about parents of that granddaughter, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you do see her.
No, you do see her, but
see
you
her.
never.
I don't think you ever see
I think the
his
story,
kid at all.
Like Mike overhearing Saul saying like, "Oh, the parents did this and left with the kids." Maybe his granddaughter's parents did something somewhat similar, or like wronged the child. And
who knows? Yeah, I don't know. So I'm so excited to see if they continue something with Mike and you find out even more about him.
Yeah.
I hope so. That was one of the reasons it's my favorite. And I also love that Saul is on like this kind of quest, and he's like a kind of like terrible like sleuth now. You know what I mean? He's got to uncover this mystery.
I love the I love going into the house. I love that everything, looking for the details and then trying to play people against each other.
And then he takes Mike's advice and goes back to the house. Basically, or he like gets the point of the story, and he goes back to the Kegel's house, and he sees that there's like one of those stupid stickers where they have like the people, like the mom, the dad, and the kids.
You
and
see
then
the
you
little
the tent,
yeah.
And then he's like, and then he's in the backyard, and you see that their property, behind them is like just the desert,
Mm-hmm.
So he goes for a walk, and then he basically comes upon the tent with them doing the bingo. And all this stuff, and he makes a call, and it's like, I found the Kegels. Give me a couple hours. I'm going to bring them back. Meet me at their house. He confronts them in the tent. The parents are so annoying. It's so hilarious. Like
They're
the kids
really
hate
annoying.
them.
Like even the scene with like they're listening to the answer machine, they're just so awkwardly standing there listening, like looking at each other.
Yeah.
I'm just like, these people are so fucking weird. Oh, and then they have a tug of war fight over a specific bag, and then the mom's like, no, because obviously the mom cares. You can tell that mom is like the one in control, and she's the one who wants.
She wears the pants.
Yeah, once again, like the women, just like from Breaking Bad on here, like most of the women I don't like.
That's true.
And then the dad is kind of like the lesser
that's
one.
True. Breaking Bad, I don't think there was a single female character that I liked.
Yeah, and then the dad at the last minute kind of goes like, "Oh, I guess I'll help." And there's that kind of like meek way he's trying to help, and the bag rips open, and you see the $1.6 million in cash fall out.
And then Saul's like, oh. And then, so my thought is like, for next episode, he sees all that money. Does he want some of it? is he willing to take some of the money and just turn his back and say, hey, they got away? Or, what decision is he? Because he's now at a crossroads here. So is he going to try and do something where he'll take money and turn the other way?
No.
Or what?
He has to get them back because Nacho said, you got to get me out of here. You can't risk just taking money and letting them go because
he's definitely going to think about it, though. He's definitely going to consider it. I know it.
I'd rather be alive than
dead. Yeah, obviously.
No,
what a poignant statement.
I was going to say something smarter there.
It never happens. Well, I'd rather be alive than dead. I don't know about you.
Wise words. What an astounding sage.
Yeah.
Everyone gather around to listen to the words of wisdom.
I'd rather be full than hungry. And that's but I don't know. When I saw that money pour out and he just looks and he's like, huh. I was like, interesting choice coming up for Saul. This was. I just loved this episode so much.
It was a great episode.
Well, obviously, once again, we didn't do it justice trying to blow through a play-by-play of it, but it was really
I thought we
so
did.
good. I know.
What other points? Any other little details you noticed? The dropping of the quarters constantly, I always notice, at payphones. This guy cannot hold on to a quarter.
Oh, I loved when...
he has so many quarters.
I loved when he was making that, trying to think to alter his voice with the tube, the cardboard tube, and when he talks to his ex-girlfriend or whoever she is, she's like, and he says, look, I warned them. I called them and I warned them. And she's like, oh, God, you didn't do sexy robot voice, did you?
Oh, yeah. Because apparently in the past...
He's tried that with her. He's done that with her. In some kind of phone sex. Basically, they have a lot of phone sex, those two.
They never physically touch each other. Just over the phone.
Curious to see what their relationship was. You know what it was, too, especially after... I watched this today. After watching that Sunday's Walking Dead, and then when I watched this... Like, the writing, like, this is in, like, not that, I mean, it's hard to compare, but the writing on this show is so tight and...
It's tight, and the camera angles are tight.
Bang, 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 and there's so much in every word. It's just so constructed so well.
No, the intelligence and the diligence of the people working on it, you can tell it's just like, this shot matters. We can't waste time. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching Walking Dead, and literally, it just seems like people it's the same kind of thing, conversation.
They're dragging it the fuck out.
Yeah, or like people just walking and walking and walking, talking and saying these little things that I'm assuming matter, but at the end of the episode, I'm like...
And now, don't get us wrong. Okay. I mean, we like Walking Dead. I like Walking Dead a lot. But
I like
this
Walking
is
Dead.
Like an example of amazing writing. And same thing for Breaking Bad. Like, that's in another class of writing. It's like...
Same thing with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Like, I would even argue that this is better writing than that.
I would say this reminds me of Game of Thrones. The interplay of the characters and the little details and how every shot matters and every little look everyone gives.
It seems effortless, the character development. In Walking Dead, we're just talking about in our last... For the most recent episode, I mean, it's like slogging through that episode. It's dragged the fuck out. I mean, this is so compact and intense, and it's just so well done.
Mm-hmm. Well, just
like
remember,
a nice, tight, neat little package.
So far, it's only 3 episodes.
I know, but that's what's. I know, but it's that's why it's only 3 episodes and it's already this good. I can't imagine that it's going to go downhill. And all the reviews that I've heard is that it keeps getting better as it goes along, which so far has been completely true. I agree with that.
Yeah, the only review I read is the guy who saw the first 3 episodes. You've read ones where people have seen the next few episodes?
No, I haven't. They only saw the first 3. I just heard ones where, it was like just before the show came out, and it was like, as the show progressed, it got better and better. So I don't know how many episodes. I guess all critics were allowed to see the same amount.
Usually they have like a big premiere for like a private premiere.
Gotcha.
And they just invite like certain critics and stuff. I'm sure if we were in LA or Hollywood, we'd be invited since our review show is so engrossing and hits such a vast audience.
We just basically regurgitate the show and say, yeah, it was great, or, terrible.
I just love, like, an ongoing thing is, like, him lawyering, as we coined. It's just him talking to people, trying to explain the situation, trying to get them to think a certain way, trying to get them to see the different sides.
What made him... I want to see what the turning point was. How did he end up going to law school? Did he actually go? Did he actually pass something?
Yeah, he said he passed the bar, didn't he? I think in episode 1 he said.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. Okay. No, but I just think it's hilarious, like, because where he ends up, where he gets off of these charges, where he would have been charged if he, if it didn't go his way, he would have been like had to be a registered sex offender. Mm-hmm. I guess he had some kind of relationship or something with a minor happened. Or he got screwed up. He got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, right. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, who knows? That's what would have ended up happening to him. Mm-hmm. So I just want to know, like, when did he turn around and say, like, hey, I'm going to law school and all this kind of stuff? That's so funny. I guess he was Chuck's protege in a way. It's kind of how they set it up. But yeah. Oh man, this was a great episode. I loved it.
All right, so we have some comments. This is weird because, the premiere was on a Sunday and then the very next episode was on a Monday.
Right.
So now the show is regular on Monday. So we have comments from 2 videos. I'll just skirt through some of the obvious ones. Trav says, Chuck is Saul's older brother.
Oh, yeah, that's Indeed. What we're talking about there, yeah.
Ergoslav!
Whoa!
There was a Heisenberg coat and hat Easter egg in the hall when Saul is talking to the court assistant. Going to have to keep my eyes open. Vince Gilligan loves details. Damn, I've missed Breaking Bad. Yes, that's true. In the very first episode, on a coat rack there, you see the Heisenberg hat.
That's awesome.
And Walter White's coat.
Oh, man, that's great.
Mario Pelequito.
Mario.
Oh, he's quoting me. No messages. It's like me signing on to the SES email. You guys are awesome. Also, if you want to hear from listeners, why not address some of the comments people leave on your videos? Yeah, that's exactly...
I think he's new. To
Oh, he's new? Okay.
He must be.
Well, man, that's what we always do.
I've never heard of this Mario before. Welcome, Mario!
Well, the thing is about YouTube, like, it's so... like
you can change your name
tomorrow,
easily.
Everyone can just change their name.
If he listened regularly, he would know that we do this normally.
Anyway, hope this quote-unquote message finds you well.
It does indeed.
And Job187 says, downloading Strangelove as I write this, watching it tonight, hype. Because we talked about Strangelove.
Oh, yeah. Oh, enjoy. Oh, I hope he comments and lets us know. He'll probably think, fucking things suck.
It's the stupidest movie I've ever seen. So slow.
What's in black and white? The fuck is this shit?
Oh, and then on our Miho review. Oh, I remember this. Okay, Big Will 19. In the timeline of the show, Breaking Bad was only a year before Walt had to go on the run. His birthday, Bacon says his age. Yeah, because from this review, remember we were tired? And then I was like, hey, how many years is it till Breaking Bad? Because obviously every season equals 1 exact year, right? That's how TV works. It works within those rules. Oh, man. And then I responded. I said, yeah, I realized it was a dumb question. What a dumb question it was to ponder after the fact, but refused to not let you guys hear it sounding dumb. And then he said, yeah, and liking Skylar is really fucking dumb, too. To which...
I don't remember you liking Skylar. Saying you like Skylar.
I didn't re-listen after, but I remember I did say something like I liked the evolution of the character Skylar. Yeah. And what I meant was, like, I liked how by the end of Breaking Bad, she was so unlike the original Skylar character.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it, because the Skylar character was such a nosy, like, intrusive detriment to Walter White, like, trying to, like, interfere with everything he was trying to do.
Yeah.
No, and then I said, like...
Nobody likes Skylar, though.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone listening to think, like, oh, one of these guys loved Skylar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why we're discussing Skylar.
You were like, I need to address this in text messages.
No, because when we talk, something random
you.
Thoughts go through my head, and that was just one of the thoughts. But
don't worry, listeners.
Nobody likes
Nobody
Skylar.
Here likes Skylar. Or Marie.
Oh, Marie. Yeah, she was known as the purple woman. She was always wearing purple.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, every
That's
episode
funny.
of Breaking
That's
Bad, she always had something purple on.
Hank was always bald, also. I don't know if you knew that.
That's true. Oh, one thing about Breaking Bad, remember Hank's obsession when he was like...
with the rocks?
Yeah, with the minerals?
Yeah.
What was that about? That, like, was there only then, and then once he started getting back into the Heisenberg case, that became something he stopped caring about.
I don't know.
Did it have something to do with, like, meth? Because meth is, like, crystals, and he was obsessed with, like, crystalline...
Maybe he was trying to put his, like, interest into something else other than that case. But then what happens is he gets all the case files and he becomes completely absorbed into that. That becomes like instead of like
so is that just
sitting there because he knows he can't do anything about the case, like
right?
Or he felt like that at the time. Maybe he put his attention onto the minerals and the rock collecting instead.
Yeah, maybe he's such an obsessive person that he needed something to focus on. And one of those things was minerals. And the only reason it was minerals is because it's like meth. Because it's rocks.
Meth
remember-
is rocks
doesn't Marie-
that get you high.
Doesn't Marie always go like, "Oh, are you playing with your rocks?" And he's always correcting her, going like, "It's minerals, Marie," or something like that.
Playing with your rocks sounds like you're jerking off. Excuse me, I gotta. My mom caught me playing with my rocks last night.
Georgie, what are you doing? Treating yourself like an amusement park. Seinfeld.
I was manipulating myself.
All right. Leave your thoughts and comments. Anything we said that you feel needs correcting, feel free to correct us.
Yeah.
Predictions.
Give us your opinions.
Leave your predictions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I predict that Saul will meet Walter White. Those predictions don't count.
Yeah, don't leave obvious predictions.
Yeah.
Hank will die.
I predict that Saul will change his name to Saul.
Mike will be revealed as a hitman in a past era. Don't use the word era, idiots.
Or spellbinding. Or dazzling.
Gripping. That was another one. Gripping.
Gripping. It's gripping.
Audiences were gripped. Thoroughly jerked.
Playing with their rocks.
Okay. I'm Oxnard.
I'm Dexter, at STS Dexter.
At STS Oxnard.
All right, goodbye.